The last multiple attribute disproof of God's existence is also the longest, at least as I have it written here. It takes up the most words. And that's benevolence versus justice. My good friend Daniel, aka your friendly neighborhood theophage, posed this one to me, and it took me aback at first. In my opinion, he is the best atheist on YouTube, yet he is almost as unknown as me, which is a real tragedy. However, I don't want to plug him too strongly because he did beat me in our competition. We were seeing who would be the first to 50 subscribers, so I don't want to, I'm joking of course, you do want to check out his videos. Anywho, I am a bit uneasy admitting victory over this argument at present, to be honest. I'm not quite sure that I am quite sure how to respond to it. I'll try to accurately represent his argument here without necessarily quoting him verbatim. Premise 1. Since God is perfectly just, he must give people what they deserve. That is what justice means. So, we do evil, God punishes us, that kind of thing. Premise 2. Since God is perfectly benevolent, he does not give people what they deserve. He offers mercy and grace to sinners when he forgives them. Premise 3. So God does not do what he must do, which is contradictory. Number 4, the conclusion. In other words, God cannot exist. God does not and cannot exist, as it says in the impossibility of God when it does these sorts of arguments. The Michael Martin book. I think the best answer to this argument is the one which perhaps only applies to Christianity, to Christian theism. For God was totally just and totally benevolent in the cross. When we think of the cross, we think of grace and truth and justice and mercy and forgiveness and benevolence all working together in a coherent whole. The paradox is solved in the cross. A powerful fictional analogy to this was when Neo was sacrificially killed by the machines who ran the Matrix. In the third movie, I think it was Matrix Reloaded. If not, then Matrix Revolutions. Matrix Revolutions was the third one, if I remember. So prior to this movie, when the second Matrix movie came out and the first Matrix movie, it was clear what Neo and the other anti-Matrix rebels wanted. It was also clear what Agent Smith wanted and what the Matrix itself wanted, or the machines, artificially intelligent machines running the Matrix. What was practically incomprehensible, however, was what needed to happen so that all parties involved would end up getting what they wanted. Of course, Neo wasn't so thrilled about dying, I'm sure, but apart from that, everyone in the movie, when it ended, with his towards the end of the third one, with his sacrificial death, ended up being happy. The sacrificial death of Neo solved this paradox. While benevolence and justice may be paradoxical, then they are not incurably contradictory. So this is not an argument that Jesus was crucified for our sins, died, and rose again. Rather, it's an argument that if that happened, then justice and love can coexist in God, if there is a God, as we believe, or at least as I believe as a Christian. This answer won't apply, though, I think, to general theism, for natural theology knows nothing of the cross. Yeah, that's not completely true, I suppose. After all, natural theology alone does not prove there was no cross. So the cross remains a possibility for all theists, a logical possibility, though I do not see a Muslim, for example, accepting the cross in the Christian understanding of that event, of course. If it's a logical possibility, though, then theophage is wrong. It is only a paradox after all. On the cross, Jesus took the just punishment for sins against God. He died for our sins. The penalty was paid in full by Jesus. Jesus paid it all, as the hymn writer said. And as the evangelist said, John, for God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son. So I think that even though that is perhaps the most thorny of the problems to my own mind of the multiple attributes taken together of God, I think that one we have a good response to as well. Conclusion, I have sincerely tried in previous videos to survey the best atheism has to offer. Actually, even though this is very short, I do want to save it for one more video. So we'll do the conclusion next video, and for this one, we'll just say goodbye for now. Thanks.